Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Tech Tuesday, where at Delta Media Group, I am Jack's Total Marketing Solution. So, today, this is a very exciting one, just like last week. Last week was exciting too with the whole open house connector thing. This week, we are going to take a look at our other major new feature release, AdWizard. And what this does is it allows you to go in through the DeltaNet and basically create your digital marketing ads all from the comfort of the DeltaNet. And then we can manage, the reach and things on those so that we make the setup very simple for you. And the idea is that, these ads are produced in such a way that they end up being very effective for you. So what we'll do is jump into the DeltaNet and take you through how to use them. So for now, these will just do Facebook. They create Facebook ads automatically. Down the road, we plan on adding more to that. Ultimately, maybe we'll be able to do like Google Ads or Google AdWords stuff and Bing ads and things like that. But for now, they're just Facebook. And to set them up, what we'll do is scroll down to Marketing and then click on AdWizard. Now, the first part of this process here, now you can see I already have this ad account set up. Now, what you'll have to do the first time you sign up is you'll actually go in and create an account through here, create a business manager account through this interface, and just follow the step-by-step process for it. What I'll do, in fact, let me go ahead and drop out of this one, and I'll just give you an idea of what those look like so that you can see them. Jump into another account here. The Boy Scout motto, almost prepared. All right, so the first time you go there, you go on Marketing, AdWizard, and you'll see this. So it'll tell you, before you use AdWizard, you need to request an ad account set up. So you'll click on Request One Now. It'll then have you sign into your Facebook account. So you'll click one, create one before continuing. You'll click there. It'll let you log into your Facebook account, and then you just follow the prompts to basically grant the level of access needed to make this work. And then at the end, you'll be presented with a drop-down where you select your business page. So you have to have a Facebook business page in order to use this. So what you'll do is you'll select your business page, you'll click the submit button, and then that will take you to the screen we were on before. So I would take you through the whole process, but since my Facebook account already has this attached to it, it would likely not pan out well for any of us. So just go ahead and click on Login or click on Create One here, and then just follow through the steps. All right, so I'll log out of this one, and we will jump back into, what are the odds I still have my password pasted in there? Ha! Look at us. We're doing good today. All right, so once you have your Facebook business page selected, it'll create your business manager account, and then you will see a screen very similar to this one. Now yours won't have any ads in it because you haven't created any yet, and you see I've done a bunch for testing, so we have all these ads down here. You'll just have a blank space here, and then you'll be able to create your new ad with this new ad button. So to do that, I'll just click on New Ad. Now, depending on what your company has set up, you may not have all the same options available that I do. Most likely you'll just have new listing, open house, and branded ads. But we may add more of those or make more available as time goes on. But if I were to create a new listing ad, I'll just click on New Listing. I'll go ahead and find my listing over here. Taking a wild guess as to what I've got. So you can start by typing in an address or an MLS number. It'll find all the listings that match, so you just select the one you want. It loads up over here with any photos of that listing. So in this case, that listing has no photos. So let's go ahead and find a listing that is going to look a little prettier for us. 867, that's the magic number. So Marketing, AdWizard, New Ad, New Listing, and we're going to do 867. So there we are. So that loads our ad up. It just grabs the initial photo off of that listing, but if I don't like that photo or I want to select a different one, I can just click from these, and I can change that background image. Now, depending on the level of access you have here, the level, how your company has things set up, you may be able to modify some different things as far as the actual look of the ads goes, but we'll just go ahead and run through this piece by piece. So first off, you select your listing. Second, you select your target radius around the listing, and that's going to be the target area for the ads. Because this is a listing-based ad, it's going to center on the location of the listing. So you just set your radius here. And depending on your market, 15 is usually a good place to start. Depending on your market, you may want to make that more or less. So if you have a really competitive market so that you can create more ads and achieve a greater density of ads. You may want to go with a smaller market area or a smaller radius. Whereas if you're in kind of a lower traffic area, then you might want to actually pick a larger area because you can kind of have that same density in a larger area. It really just depends on how many ads are targeting that same area, that kind of thing. But we set this so that for most people, for most markets, this 15-mile radius is going to be a good baseline for you. So as you move down, you can change this headline. So right now, by default, this headline is set to the property address, but I could change that by changing what's in that field. Same for the description. I can change what's in that field, and that will change the description text that shows up down here. And then I can also choose from a few different templates. So we're on just listed with flag now. If I want to change that to a just listed with ribbon, I'll just click on that, and you can see that template changed a little bit. And then I can also switch that to a listing carousel, where it switches here, and it's actually just the basic information here at the top. This will be the link to your business page. This is what your ad will actually look like on Facebook. And then users will actually be able to cycle through the photos here. So the listing carousel ones are kind of cool. And for now, I'll go ahead and change this back to the just listed with flag. And if we scroll back up here, again, depending on your company's settings, you may be able to move around some of the options in here. You can see anything that I click on like that, I can actually move. I can rotate that if I want. It's pretty cool, right? And I can change the size of it some. So you see, if this option's turned on for your company, you can have some options to customize these ads too. Generally, the defaults for these templates are meant to be pretty good. The whole thing is meant to be pretty seamless for you, so you can just kind of, create these ads really quickly. Now, the next thing you can do is by default, because this is a listing ad, the target URL for the ad will go to the listing detail page. Generally, you're not going to want to change that, but if you want to, that's what this field is for. So you can have it go to your home page, you can have it go to a specific landing page you've built for that listing maybe. So you have some options there. So once you have this ad set up the way you want, I'll go ahead and move my picture back over. You just click on Next. Now this takes you through where you can actually select some more information about this ad. So by default, it's set to run for 1 week, and it's automatically calculated the pricing for me to run for a single week. If I want to change that so it doesn't run for as long, I can kick this down to, we'll go down and say we only want to run until Saturday. Click on that, you can see that the price automatically updates. So the pricing is per day, so it'll come up with a price based on how many days you have it run. And then next, right now Facebook is the only option available here. As we add more options for you to more platforms, you'll have more checkboxes here as these load up. So for now, Facebook is the only one there, and that one's checked by default. So once I have my date range set up, I'll just click on Next. It gives me a page here where I can look over all of my details about this ad just one final time to make sure everything looks good. And if it does, I click on Finish. It'll process. And there you go. So from here, it gives me the last bit of details about the ads, the pricing, when it's going to run, and what it's going to target. And what I would do is click on Pay $60. That'll open up my payment interface. I'll enter the information to make my payment, and then it'll submit that. Now at this point, we don't store any of your payment information, so every time you create an ad, you'll need to enter your credit card information back in here again. And that's just so that we're not storing that information. So now at this point, if I were to fill this out, hit submit, I'd be all taken care of. My ad would be all set to run on whatever interval I chose, and I should be good to go. If this is your first ad, you'll have to select a start date, and it'll stop you, but you have to select a start date of at least a couple of days out. But after that, you can set them up to start right away. Now, if I were to close out of this page, or just click Save and Return Home, or just leave this page, or go back to New Ad, or go back to the home page, or anything like that, it will leave this ad. This ad, it's been created at this point. The ad will still be in there, and it will save it as pending. So then I can go back in, and it won't actually run until I go back in and submit the payment for it. So for now, I'll just hit Save and Return Home. And you can see there is my ad on the home page, and then down here we have payment required. So if I wanted to go ahead with this ad, say I created it, I saved it for now, but I'm not ready to pay for it yet, I can go back in here later, just click on the ad, and that takes me back to that payment page where I would just hit Pay $60 or whatever the price is, and fill out my credit card information, hit Submit, and then I'd be all set to go. So there you go. Now we'll take a quick look at the other types of ads. The setup is very similar for all of them, but we'll go ahead and jump into an open house ad. So for an open house ad, you do that the same way. You pick your property. But the difference here is, so you have property, goes by address, the templates are all the same, those work the same way. The only difference is, if I picked a listing that has some open houses upcoming for it, there will be a checkbox for the open houses here that I want to run this for. So let's say I have an open house on Saturday and another one on Sunday for this listing. I can select to run an ad for just the Saturday open house, just the Sunday open house, or both. When I select those, that will determine the time frame during which this ad will run. And you can see here, each one of those is considered its own ad. They start one day before the open house and they run until 1 hour before the end of the open house. But that is the only difference here. I would select that, hit next, and then the rest of the process is exactly the same. And I'll go ahead and jump back to type. And then the last type that should be available to everyone would be the branded ad. So if I click on branded ad, the difference here is I can enter zip codes. Because this isn't a listing-based ad, I can actually put in the zip codes that I want it to target. And this is just a branded ad that just focuses on, me as an agent. So first I would select my zip codes. I would enter my headline and description. You can see because I had already set up a property on the last one, it's already filled in. But typically on a branded ad you wouldn't do that. Check me out. Let our ad reload, and it checks me out. So, and I have some control again if it's turned on at the company that I can modify those. The other nice thing about these branded ads is we have a photo gallery down here that you can select from some different photos to load up as the background image on these. And then also if you have a custom background you'd like to load up, you can click on custom background and upload a picture from your computer and use that as the background image on your ad. And then we also have some categories in here which are kind of cool. So if we want to do lifestyle here, loads up some backgrounds, click on one, and then there's the background it loads up for that ad. Now as we scroll down, we have some different templates here also, and our plans are to add more templates as time goes on. But for now, you just select from one of the templates, select your background, customize your header text and your description text here, and then you're all set. The other difference with these is that if I were setting this up new, this would typically just be a link to my home page. Instead of trying to link to a listing detail page, it just goes to the home page of my website. But I can modify that to go to any page I want to if I'd like. And in this case, because I had it on a listing and went back to this one, it still has that detail page in there. But beyond that, this is exactly the same. So once I'm all set up, I'll click next. It would let me know that, well, I was already on open house, so it's trying to do open houses. But this one would also, because it's a branded ad, let me choose exactly what days I want it to run. And then from here on, it would be exactly the same process as setting up like a new listing ad. So there you have it. So that is how you get ads set up in this system. Now every ad that you set up is going to be saved here on this page. You can see they all have individual statuses, and those statuses will change throughout the life of the ad. So they'll start out as payment required if you didn't pay for it during the payment or during the ad setup process. Once they're all set to run, that status will change to indicate that the ad has been sent through, that the ad's been approved, and that the ad's run, and that the ad's been completed. So there'll be statuses that will indicate kind of each of those points along the run there. Once the ad is actually run, I can still go back to this page and I can click on the ad, and I can get some details about those ads. So if I click on this one, you can see that this ad ran. It tells me the date range that it ran on, and it tells me what kind of impressions, clicks, and what kind of reach it had. So it gives you some statistics specific to this ad. Now the other thing you can do is you can go into reports and you can see statistics on all of your ads. So the idea is that if you had a bunch of ads that had run, you'll be able to just hit this page and really quickly kind of scroll through each one and see how all of your ads are doing, instead of just looking at them one at a time. And the next thing you have is you can click on payment history. That'll show all the payments that have been made in the system, so you can easily keep track of that. The edit account button at this point, there's not really much to do there. You have this Facebook pixel code that the system has automatically inserted for you here. So down the road, if you would ever need to change that, though you should never need to change that, the idea is this gives you a way to get to it. Some companies may also have the lead form stuff activated, but that is generally not going to be available to you at this point. We're on the demo site, so that's why that button shows up. So there you go. And then the other thing that is also important is you have this tips button. So the idea here is this gives you a lot of information about how you can make your ads as effective as possible. So, when you create them, we try to set the defaults up in such a way that they're going to work really well for you out of the box without having to make any changes. But if you have an ad that's not performing, or Before you create your first ad, you want to make sure that it's going to perform as well as it possibly can. You want to go through these different tips here and just kind of absorb the knowledge we've provided that has to do with how you should set the ads up, how you should run them, that will make them as effective as possible. And there you have it. And then the home button takes you back to the AdWizard homepage. Got to think about it. There we go. So there you go. That is the AdWizard platform. I see, looks like we've got a question from Lorraine in there. Listings and open house ads. The ads get shown to basically anyone on Facebook based on the target area. So that's kind of how it customizes the audience. For the listings and open house ads, it's just centered on them, and it's looking at everyone in a geographic area surrounding whatever the radius is around the listing. Beyond that, I don't know how it gets any deeper into targeting for that. But as far as I know, it's just based on geographic area. Any other questions? Questions? Look at that. I was expecting a ton today. Man, I'm telling you guys. All right. So, as always, thanks a lot for joining me this week. That is the AdWizard platform in a nutshell. We've got some more training guides on these available on our YouTube channel. So if you look through, there will be more guides available for this, and then we'll also be able to provide some written guides if you'd like for this kind of system. And we're just going to keep adding to it. So if you have any suggestions for things that might make it easier, go ahead and send those into support@deltagroup.com or give us a call, and we can go over those and see if that's something that's on our roadmap. Other than that, we're just going to keep on making it better. So, thanks a lot for joining me, and I will see you again next week.